All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Chronicles of a Virgo podcast. And as usual, I'm your favorite Virgo host, Shakita Johnson. And today, guys, I am honored to have this lovely couple, these guests on joining us today. This is actually going to be an amazing conversation. So I hope you guys stay to the end. But today, y'all, I feel like I need a drum roll for them, but I don't have drums. But I have the lovely host of the Things About Us podcast, the Queen Fiona and the King Willie, joining me today. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you
Hey
for
Queen,
having us.
how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you guys for coming. I'm so glad that you guys are here finally on the Chronicles of a Virgo podcast. I know I've been
Yeah,
to your show a few times, so I am so honored to have you guys here to talk to me, my listeners, because we're going to get into some things, as you know.
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yes, but first and foremost, we got to do our lovely mental health check. Okay. So we checking in with our mental health, see how we are feeling, making sure everything is aligned and we are balanced, rating our mental health on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being that we are in a good space, one being that we're not in the best space. There's some room for porn, but we are managing. So, Fee, how are you feeling today on a scale of 1 to 5?
On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm a 7.36. And that is because Friday was the last day of school. For those of you who
Hey.
don't know, I am a school teacher. And so, yes, it just doesn't get any better than this. Feeling great.
I think you are my first guest in the what 3 seasons to 3 years. Wait, no, I'm so far. You're my first guest in 2 years of this show saying something higher than what it was supposed to be. So that is good. You're off the
Yeah,
charts. I
off
love
the charts.
yes, I love that. Okay, King, how are you on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm at a 5. I'm good. I've been going through another transition this week, so I'm at a 5.
Okay. Okay. Five
What
in it out
transition you going
today.
through this week? Oh, I'm sorry. You started asking questions like it was my podcast.
No, ask them again.
So, what transitions you going through this week, babe?
I just been like in this tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
I did a good detox of social media
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
week. Um, Not a lot of like podcasts. I just been like no books,
Mm-hmm.
like music, mostly like instrumental type music. So
Mm-hmm.
I just been really zoned out and just really just in my own space.
I'm looking forward to that transition. That's what I'm about to transition upon.
Hmm.
And I am so looking forward to it.
Yes. Yes, that is so I'm so proud of you, Willie. I'm proud of both of y'all. 5 in it out, 7.5 in it out. Today, I am 5 in it out with you. Okay,
Hmm.
probably 7 it. Y'all know I just these past few weeks have just been tremendous for me. Like words can't explain how I feel. So anytime I get a 5 or higher, I just celebrate that. I celebrate anything feeling below that just because I try to embrace all my feelings. But I resonate a lot with what Willie said because I've been in that same space as well, like trying to limit my screen time and haven't really listened to a lot of just anything audio besides like my binaural beats or some of my R&B music, we're working out, but just more purposes of just being with myself, cutting off some of that outside chatter, and it has been doing me some justice. So,
I felt mentally tested this week. Like yeah, it was like yeah, you violating my space right now mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did. I felt tested this week.
And I think just along that line, I think a lot of my release comes from not having to take on all of those other energies. When I'm in a class with 26, 27 kids and there's no telling who's bringing what that day
Mhm.
or what's going to set them off at what point, and that releases a lot for me because we've talked about it before, just the effect emotionally
Mhm.
of working with kids, and some of the emotions that they carry and don't necessarily know how to deal with. So I'm looking forward to being in that space with
Yeah. But and I said this before, I have to deal with those
y'all.
adults that are still stuck in that space.
Mm-hmm.
They never figured it out.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So I have to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's oth- other people's kids.
Yes. Other people's kids, other people's
Literally.
adults, all of that.
Man,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the most important key in all of that is just making sure that you are balanced and you are taken care of, because when you're at a certain level, then you're able to, ignore certain things for the most part, right? Besides the stuff that you're responsible for. And sometimes I feel like I am so much in my bubble that nothing or no one outside of me, I'm like, unfortunately, it does not matter. You can pick an argument with me, and I'm probably just like, you know what? You got it. Because at this point, you're not going to mess up my zen. Okay.
hmm
So I definitely understand. And Fee, yes, we going to send some good juju, some good positive vibes to you. So when your summer vacation starts, you will be living your best life.
Yes, I'm taking all of it, accepting all the good vibes.
Yes. And make sure Willie be good and nice to you over there too, because otherwise we're going to have to square up.
I'm gonna tell you now. The only thing he's probably gonna have to worry about is when he gets home from work and he's ready to be in his bubble, and I'm like, and he's gonna be like, "Hold up, baby. Oh, was I waiting for you, babe? Was I waiting for you to just talk about anything?"
No, and it's going to be the 15 phone calls and text messages I get throughout the day while I'm at work.
And you know what? This is what kills me about that. You always want to put it on me, but he knows when I'm off in the summer, who's blowing whose phone up.
Other way around.
It's how
So
Mm.
you don't. So it's always me. It's not you. You don't call me and text me in the summer when I'm off.
no. What I do is I forget because I call. I'm in my routine, so I call to make sure that you up moving around. So I forget. It's gonna take me about a week or so to remember. Like, oh, she's still asleep.
And that's it. That's the only time.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
See,
You
that
a
look said
bold
it
faced
all.
lie. He's a bold faced lie, and he know on camera.
See, this
Okay,
is this is giving everyone a preview of how this conversation is about to
it's
go.
gonna go. Yeah, it's
Yes,
about to go
yes,
just
because
like this.
it is. But you know what? I thank you guys for participating in the mental health check. And I do those as a way to hold myself and guests and listeners accountable to check in with yourself, listen to that daily, that inner dialogue that you're having, and make sure you're just in a better space. And if you are not, don't feel ashamed that you're not okay, because it is okay to not be okay. Ask for help or just take a break or try to find some other, healing modality to bring you to calm. All right. So let's get into this conversation because y'all already kind of gave everybody some previews of what we're going to be talking about. So today we're going to be talking about just navigating love and navigating marriage because, like I said, Willie and Fiona are the hosts of the Things About Us podcast, and it's a relationship podcast, and they be getting into some good conversations, you know? So I'm going to use them as the catalyst today to talk about just navigating love and marriage because on their show, they don't only talk about things that's going on in society, but they also put their relationship and their marriage on the forefront. So I got some questions and I think they may have some answers, for my little single self over here. So I know y'all talk a lot on your show, like I said, about just, how marriage and relationships and things have changed over time and social media been being could be the influence behind a lot of that. Let's dive into y'all love life a little bit. Like, how long have y'all been married? And How did you guys meet? All that jazzy stuff.
Well, we're going on 8 years. It's eight, 9, 11.
He don't even know
It's
Jesus.
12.
He
Hold on.
don't even. What anniversary did we just celebrate? See what happens.
It was 8.
We just had,
We just had a
the long pause. He was counting. That's
we
what he
Look,
was. That's
look,
exactly he
you
was like.
you ain't
He
come
like,
on, you ain't come on here today to get in trouble.
we just yeah. It was the 8th. Okay, it was the
we have
8th.
been married 8 years.
8. Yeah. It was because this is the thing, Shakita. I factor in the dating part and the friendship part. So it's 8 on paper,
Hmm.
government wise. But outside of that, we talking 18 years?
Mm.
No, no, no.
We've known each other long. I tell you what's so funny is in my memories, we just according to Facebook, we just celebrated 14 years
Yeah,
of friendship on
yeah,
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
wow.
So
So
basically that's 14 years from the time I was in your DMs. I
ooh,
kind
Yeah.
of shot my
you
shot.
shot your shot, P?
I yes and no.
She did. She shot her shot.
I did. I ain't coming at you. I just requested him as a friend. That's
Nah.
all.
She did like a in between the leg, took the ball behind her back, faked it to the one person, and then brought it back and then shot. That's what she did.
Wow. So
So
you guys connected through social media, like not through friends or anything, just social media?
actually, his sister was my nail tech. And
Oh.
so I have known him because she started doing my nails before I had my daughter, and my daughter just turned 21.
Hmm.
So I have known him close about, she's 21, maybe 20
Yeah.
years or so. So yeah, that I've known him.
Hmm.
But um that Facebook notification was probably the beginning of our friendship.
Friendship. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys created some type of friendship bond before you dived into dating?
Oh
Hell,
yeah.
dating was never even,
Yeah.
that was never.
Yeah. It was Facebook. It was Facebook. I mean, most people do a lot of what back then. I don't know if they did back then use as a hookup, but
Mm.
it was no friends.
Remember, it was back then was the poke when people used to send
The
pokes.
poke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
the poke. But
yeah.
I
Oh
didn't
my
poke
God.
him though. I didn't let the record show I did not poke him.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
So she
Yes.
poked you at least once.
A few.
That was probably after we became friends,
Okay.
just like to get your attention.
Okay.
Okay, so we
But you
we
know,
mhm.
but I will say this. I remember the first time I saw him, and I always tell this story. Um, it was something about him that drew me, and I always say it had to be his energy because it wasn't a physical attraction. It was something about his energy that made me take notice of him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 6 foot dude
With
on
the
on
with the hair
with the
out to here.
hair. Yeah, chilling.
Just yeah.
That wasn't it. No.
It was your energy, baby.
Okay.
It was the vibes coming off of you.
So what do you guys, because y'all had a dating stage clearly before you jumped into a relationship and got married. So what do you guys consider dating?
We didn't really, honestly, we didn't have a dating.
No.
We
Oh, so
we
y'all just
really-
jumped in head first.
well, I don't even, and it's funny we get asked this question because sometimes I don't even really know how to explain it. We were friends. When we
Mhm.
became friends, I wasn't in a relationship and he was in a relationship, but like I said, it was literally just friends. And then there was a point where we were both in relationships,
Yeah.
and then we were out of relationships, but we were just really good. We were friends where we would either talk or text every day.
Yeah. And then there was a point where I guess I had my introvert or depression point, and we didn't talk.
At all. I
We
was
didn't. We
mad.
didn't talk for. It was a while.
I was
Mm,
heated. It's like,
mm.
how you gonna ghost me? But
How can you ghost your friend?
You can.
thank
You
you.
Okay.
can.
Thank you. But we were friends. Like I said, we would talk every day, and it was a genuine friendship. Um, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to pinpoint when the crossover happened
Mhm,
because he was such a good friend.
mhm.
And I can't pinpoint how the crossover happened, but it was like we were friends. And I don't know if it was just like maybe an aha.
It was blame it on the alcohol. I don't know. But it,
But you know what? That's like symbolism showing that like men and women can just be have platonic friendships, and
Mhm,
it doesn't have to be anything physical. It doesn't have to be anything sexual. Like you clearly said that it was at a point where he was in a relationship and then you was in a relationship and y'all were still friends, and it wasn't none of that extra stuff. And I think like nowadays there's so many different like narratives that like men and women can't have platonic friendships. There always has to be like that physical aspect, that sexual attraction. And it's like, no, I just want to be your friend,
mhm.
yeah.
you know? And like one thing that I'm learning, and like I've been learning these last couple of years since my last relationship, is I know that I hadn't had like the healthiest foundation in the past before jumping into a relationship. It wasn't no really getting to know like all aspects of that person and just learning these different things, and I'm already in it. It's like too late now. It's like I have to accept it because I'm in it, you know. Was there ever a phase in you guys relationship where you were like learning each other and it was just like, oh my goodness, this is too much? Or you're learning each other and you're just embracing all of the parts of each other because you love one another?
That didn't happen for me until after she moved in. I don't know what. I don't know what it is about women.
I grabbing the mic.
Okay.
When
And leaning in close.
when y'all move in, it's like it's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. Like y'all come over, you may leave a toothbrush or your brush or whatever. But then when you go in the restroom and it's like, wait a minute, this ain't where I left my deodorant. Wait a minute. Why is all this stuff in these drawers? And, and then stuff start coming up missing. Oh yeah, I threw that away. It was dingy. And he's like, well, I didn't sign off on that. What do you mean you threw the? Yeah, I didn't. And then you go in the kitchen. Why's the forks on this side of the tray and I had them on this side? I don't like getting my fork from that side. I like getting it from this side.
Baby, come back to
So
the question. Come back. Because you just
I was
Chickadee, you wanna
He's
ask the question? Because he lost. He lost it, babe. Just that
that's question
no.
trick.
Yeah. Triggered. Triggered. Triggered him.
I'm still triggered.
But
Sorry. I apologize.
look, now I gotta try to
Can
remember
you?
what the original question
So
was.
the question was there a time in the relationship when you guys started learning different things about one another, and it may have been that thought like, oh, this is too much, or during the time of learning different parts of one another, you were just able to embrace it and just continue to learn how to love and deal with each other? Clearly Willie did, because all these years later, y'all still together. So it didn't matter if you threw out the dingy socks and moved the deodorant because
And you know what? I think the answer is gonna be different for both of us simply because this is my second marriage.
Mhm.
Now, I will say that the friendship part was what terminology am I looking for? The friendship part is what created the bond. I think it was the unbreakable bond. And I say that because I didn't meet his representative. I met who he was, because it wasn't necessarily trying to impress each other, or trying to get him to like me or her to like me, because there wasn't any there wasn't really anything at stake or anything to gain. It was just like, hey, you
It
know.
it was really it was a smooth transition
Mhm.
going into that. So that's why, like, when we're asked, it's like we don't know, because but once we decided that we was going to start being more than friends, it was just like this weird smooth
Mhm.
transition. You know what I mean? Like nothing really had changed other than seeing her every day, and then waking up beside each other. That was the only difference.
Mhm.
So everything just folded organically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as, going back to what he was saying about the moving in, I think that was probably more traumatic for him than me, in the sense that I had having been married before, I
Mhm.
understood what the transition was going to be like, because my ex-husband was the first time I had lived with a man. He was the second time. And honestly, for the first year of that, it was like arguing over little things.
Hmm.
And
Not arguing.
not arguing, it was like the disagreements over little things, because you've been you and
Mhm.
they have been who they are, and now you putting it together, and when you do things differently. So the good thing about me in that time is being aware of my feelings and the reality of what was going on. Okay, is this worth, an argument because he leaves the toilet seat up, or you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But it was just little things that yeah, and so I knew that was gonna happen.
It's always the little things that disrupt the flow.
Hmm.
It's
Mhm.
always the little things.
Hmm.
Always.
And then too, with him being, uh, I don't even know if not necessarily single so long, but being on his own for so long and being set in his ways, and not having to adapt, and then not just having to adapt to me because I came with kids.
Yeah.
So it was even, an even bigger transition.
How was that whole transition? I don't think I ever heard you guys talk about that. Like transitioning from being, I guess, single, not being in a relationship for a while, and then transitioning with someone that has children.
It was it it was it was trying. It was
Mhm.
difficult. It was very difficult at times. Um it was difficult for me, in the sense of, at first I felt like we were walking on eggshells, you know,
Mm.
because we moved in to his home. So it was like, this is his space and he's so used to this. And do I touch this? Or do I not touch this? It was difficult in the sense with kids, him not having kids, and then me having kids and being a teacher. I think I was used to it on I was used to it, and
Mhm.
then him not. So
Mhm.
that's from my perspective.
Stressful. It was stressful.
Mhm.
For me, it was stressful. Yeah. I don't think it was, because I think we had a conversation, not per se eggshells, but it was just like, because when you're used to having your space. You used to having your space, and then, like I said, you put something somewhere, and then you come back, it's like, where's it at? And then nobody knows nothing. So you're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, now we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the type of issues, and then it's like, well, it was clean. I went to bed, and now it's dirty. It's jacked up. What's going on? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that was the type of situations we was having. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I guess because I'm a fire sign, hey, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And then if it doesn't get done, that's a whole nother blow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there wasn't a power struggle between me and Fee. It was a power struggle between the kids and us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I say something and then they go to her and she's like, and I'm like, no, 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 no,
Right.
no.
He's like, I had told them this, and this.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
then they got pissed when it became a united front and they couldn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Once I put her up on game on what they was doing,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah." So then we became the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Yeah.
it was a wrap.
But that's good though, because you hear a lot of times where some couples they remain split. I don't want to always blame it on the kids are splitting, but the couple, the mom and dad may not see things the same. But you guys were able to communicate that, hey, I think this may be what the problem is, and this is what the solution can be, and it worked out in favor of you guys. So that's good. I remember when my mom started dating my sister's father. We moved in with him, and I was in elementary school, and it was so different. And of course, I'm only going to want to listen to my mom. Like, who is this man telling me what to do? Who is this man taking all my mom's time? Like, I was the only child for 11 years, just me and her. So I can remember as a kid that being a trying time, because I'm not going to listen to nothing this man tells me what to do. I need to hear it from her. And then it came some point that I don't know how it happened on their end, but I had no choice but to start listening to this man, because now you're sending him to pick me up from school and stuff. So like, here we are,
Yeah.
So that's good representation though. And Fee, this just came to my mind because I've heard you mention this a few times on y'all podcast. And this goes back to the whole dating conversation. You recommend dating a mama's boy.
Yes, 100%.
Now, can you explain that?
And when I say I recommend dating a mama's boy, I don't mean a mama's boy in the sense that, how we have controlling mothers who, I mean a man that takes care of his mom, who checks on his mom, who makes sure she's all right. Because that's the best man to have. If a man takes care of his mom, he's naturally going to take care of you. If a man takes care of his mom, in that sense, you know that he has a respect for women and what women do. He recognizes, the struggle she made, the sacrifice, and the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? Of the relationship. And I always say that she told me, she was like, "You took my baby from me." She was serious, but not in a malicious kind of way. But it wasn't. Me and his mom have a great relationship. But she also knew that once he found a woman, the right woman, that, to let go.
Yeah.
But he still calls his mama every night. He still checks on his mom. He still makes sure, hey, how you feeling? What you doing? What you eat? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have zero problem with that.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, since someday you talk to your mama yet? You talk to your mama yet?
But you know what? That also speaks on his character of being able to open his home to you. Not saying like y'all needed him, right? But
Mhm.
hey, you and your kids, y'all living with me. He embraced y'all because nowadays, child, no, I just want you and I don't need them kids. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
And
that's unfortunate.
and I'll tell you one of the things about him too that further let me know is he was the first one who mentioned integrating the kids to
Oh
our
wow.
relationship. And it was my emotional baggage that was prolonging that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after me and my ex-husband separated and divorced, my family the kids had experienced the loss. And honestly, at that time, I had two kids, but I also had custody of my niece and my nephew. So I had four kids.
Mm-hmm.
And um, with them having dealt with, the divorce, and not only that, I had my niece and my nephew because my sister passed away. We had suffered so much loss that when I was dating, my kids didn't know I was dating
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't going to bring anyone to them that I wasn't sure of. And so I had dated a guy. We had been dating a whole year before I even let him meet my children.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in a relationship, got engaged to be married, and he cheated. It was okay. My son was devastated. And when I say devastated, when I told them and I told him, he was he was like, "Well, what's his phone number?" And I was like, Mom, quit thinking. I was like, I deleted it from my phone. He went to get a phone book to try to look up his number because he felt like he could
Mm-hmm.
say something that would change it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got mad at myself because I let my son develop this bond with someone who ended up creating another loss for him.
Yeah.
And so when it came to us, it just, I don't even think I consciously did it. I think I subconsciously just still kept the two separate. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, we need to start doing things together so, they know this is a relationship and, integrating this whole unit.
Mm-hmm. That's different for a man to
Very.
make that initiative. Willie, what made you take that initiative and invite that in?
Uh, from experience,
Mm-hmm.
because I was that child,
Mm-hmm.
so I understood it. I mean, there was even with her son, we had our issues, and she she didn't understand the approach I was taking
Mm-hmm.
with dealing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, so you just done?" I was like, "No, he has to be comfortable and be ready to want to have that relationship with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't force him to have that relationship. That's up to him." So that's the approach I had to take with trying to blend, everybody together and stuff. So because I was that kid.
It took me a long time to understand that and accept that too, because him and my daughter kind of organically developed this really, really good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that way. And I felt like he was like avoiding him or ignoring him. And once he really sat me down and explained, I understood.
I think boys and girls are totally different when it comes to things like that.
Mhm.
I think in your daughter's case, she was looking for that male figure,
She
father
was.
figure. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
she was in she was in middle school. She was in elementary. Yeah. I don't know, but she was at that age to where daughters are kind of looking for that father figure guidance.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was easier between me and her, and she's a fire sign too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so but
That makes a lot of sense. But I'm glad that, they had you as that male figure and you toughed it out despite how tough it may have been or discouraging. And then Fee, kind of let your guard down a little despite the other adversities and things that you faced in previous relationships and things. Listening, it just seems like everything just flowed so organic with y'all that you could not even have any resistance because it was just meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Um, how have you guys been able to maintain a healthy marriage?
Honey packs, Viagra, melatonin, alcohol.
You know what?
Uh,
He is
what I
showing out.
what I
Showing
what
out,
I
showing out.
what I leave.
But, and I'm gonna say it, and I say it all the time. It was the friendship.
Fellatio.
Remember that later.
Okay.
Um, and the one thing I always say is easier said than done because most relationships are born from that physical attraction first.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to tell somebody be friends first because they're physically attracted first. The friendship, and it's simply what he was such a good friend, and that's just the testament to the person he is. He's not a people person, but if you're one of his people, you're one of his people.
Mm-hmm.
And if he loves hard. So he's the type of person who and he was the type of friend who paid attention. He listened to things, he watched things, even when I didn't realize, and it showed up in the little things that he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the basis of it all.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna be different. Yeah. Just paying attention. Honestly.
I tell this story. I've told this story before. There was a time right when we first, got together. We weren't even married yet. I don't think. I don't think we were married yet. And I had moved in, and I had this. I don't know if it was some kind of bill, some kind of financial something came
Mm-hmm.
up, and it was like $500, and I was like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't have this," and I was like internally in turmoil. Hadn't said anything to him because, again, in my past history with men in relationships, money always men don't deal well with financial stress,
Mm-hmm.
and that's with men being providers. Okay, if you got that, okay, how am I gonna handle this? So I didn't even bring it to him. So I had been struggling with this probably for about a week. And I went to work one day. And when I got to work, I got a text message from him. And it said, whatever it is, or whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't said anything. I think I'm covering it up. I'm moving like a champ, just trying to handle whatever. But he knew
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was he had picked up on. And I guess after so many days, he was like, okay, whatever it is, when you're ready, let me know. But that's how um attentive he was. And he was even like that, as a friend, he was like that.
Shit. I'm sorry. What was the what was the original question?
So now I'm rambling. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, she wasn't rambling.
No, she
She,
wasn't.
I
No,
was
she
she
wasn't.
specified, and I was like in tune with it because I was going to make a point that nowadays sometimes it's hard to find someone to like pay attention to those not say every aspect, but like the things that truly matter. Because she was dealing with a stressor and like never said anything. She was faking it till she made it, but you picked up on those signs, right? And this is what I meant by things flowing organically, you know? But the initial question was, how are you guys able to maintain a healthy marriage? And that went from
Okay.
the foundation being as having a healthy and open foundation as friends, and then y'all maintain that friendship.
For me, I think she made fun of me one time when I said this. Is we shouldn't really focus on being married. We should still focus on being friends because it seems like once people get married, it becomes transactional.
Hmm.
Versus do the people, the people who you see who's been married for 50, 60 years and stuff, and it's my best friend. It's my best friend. We don't do nothing. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those marriages are people, they're not focusing on being married. They focusing on this is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
And it's focusing on each other. You know, when you can get in a relationship, you get that day to day, go to work, come home, bills, the kids. But we always have time where it's just we're focusing on each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and he always says he with him being the introvert and me being the extrovert, and he's like, you always running, you always doing this. But now sometimes it makes me mad, but I now I want to be home in his space.
What? Because I
When
remember a
I
conversation last year y'all had about that.
Mhm,
When you wanted to go, like y'all was talking about you going out with your girlfriends and I think to the movies or something, and he just wanted to be up under you, and you're like, it's okay to go out, and now you saying that you want to be home. I am shocked.
Oh, I remember. No, no. What I was You correct. What I was saying was when we go out, I
Mm-hmm.
just want to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we go like to parties and whatever it is, I'm not there to meet the other people. I don't care about the other people. I'm there with you, so I'm trying to be with you.
mhm.
But yes, you are correct. Yes.
And
Yeah,
now she want
but
to be home.
Hmm.
yeah, and I
We empty nesters now.
Yeah.
yeah, and that too in itself has drawn us like even closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Even
you. I know you guys talked some about that, a lot about that actually on your show. About I'm
mhm,
thinking about
mhm.
certain stuff that y'all said
It's a
about being.
celebration.
Yeah, y'all talked about it, but what things, or do you guys have any like specific strategies or tools or anything that help you guys like keep your communication open and healthy? I know that the human side of us a lot of times want to withhold things and our feelings just because we may not want to pour that out on the other person. So is it the same in marriages? Because again, I'm single. I don't know how this stuff work. Is it the same in marriages where you feel like sometimes you can't pour out on that person and you may withhold those feelings, or is it just like, no, that's my person, like I know for a fact that I can always go to this person with just about anything.
I'm gonna say this before I get into it. There was a time. Well, one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that Fee told me while we was friends, or as we was getting and we was migrating to be a couple.
Mm-hmm.
You know how women they have their list of needs and wants. In their relationship. So
The
she's like,
non-negotiables.
yeah, yeah. Uh, she wants somebody that communicate. But
Mm-hmm.
even as a friend, she would say, she's been in relationships and guys, didn't talk, didn't know how to communicate. So now, boom, I got you. It's right here. I'm with you. So now I'm communicating But the way she's looking at me is like I'm over communicating.
Mm.
So it's one of those things where be careful what you ask for because you're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she got it and she didn't know how to take that.
Mm.
So now we had hit a wall because I want to talk. Hey, so look, so check this out. So this happened and then that's happened. And I was like, and then she just looking at me like
Why are you talking to me
like
right now?
why are you telling me all this? I'm like, because you said that you wanted somebody. How's your day? You know, stuff like that. It was okay. All right then. So what happened in your day? What made it okay?
Mm.
Dr. Willie. What made it okay? You know, that type of stuff. So big ladies, be careful for what you ask for. And it's funny because I'm the introvert, but she's my person.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, we talk.
And I tell you what's so funny about that. I remember, while we were going through that, and I'm going through that phase, and I'm talking to my dad, Mario. I was talking to my dad, and I was like, man, it's like he's an introvert. And I said, it's like he saves it all up for me when he comes home. It's like all day he don't talk to nobody because he don't like people. Get home, he wants to let me know all about it. But like you said, that was be careful what you wish for, and then really understanding what that means. And also to answer your question, when you're with somebody and you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt if that's your person. Now, I'm going to say that with the caveat. Sometimes women, we fall in love with the potential of what they could be. But when you have someone who is that and you exhale because he is my safe space. He knows all of my crazy and he loves me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the craziness. There are times when, and this was the other day, I think I came home and I'm just, whatever it was at school, and I'm just, and he's looking at me like, okay. But I know he's like, whatever. But I'm okay with just going rah, 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 rah. And the reason it's crazy is blah, 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 blah. And this kid, blah, blah, and his mama, and blah, 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 blah. And then I stop because he's giving me the blank stare because I'm having diarrhea at the mouth, getting it all out. And so then I shut up and I'm like, and then, and blah, 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 blah. But he understands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's you. I know that's you decompressing versus you complaining. There's a difference between the two. So when you decompressing, it's like I'm not supposed to speak. This is just me just
listening.
I just listen. And then if there's like some keynotes, I may remember it. But a lot of times it's just her just decompressing. So it's just like, all right. But by the end, a lot of times I've already had my ashwagandha. So it's just like,
Yeah. You really in your full zen then. Listen, I
he
got
just knows
it.
he just knows I need to make eye contact until she stops talking.
Yeah.
And then stand for about 5 to 10 seconds more to fake concern and care. And then I can walk away. But and part of what makes it work is just us understanding that.
Mm-hmm. You said a few good things, but one thing made me think of this like video I saw on TikTok, and the girl said that no one prepares you what it feels like to be in a safe and healthy relationship when you're used to being in unhealthy and chaotic relationships. And it's like when you're used to all like arguing all the time and just a lot of conflict and infidelity, and then you find your person and you're in this safe space and this person listens to you and you can reside in your full femininity. It's like, okay, this does not feel right. Like because you're not used to it. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you realize, like, okay, this is how I should be treated. So I have finally found my person, someone that's actually making me feel safe. I'm not resisting the communication because, like you said, you just come straight out and he's there. And sometimes he doesn't have to say anything because my mom literally said the same thing the other day about her and her boyfriend. Like she will just be like she's Aries. Like y'all be just crazy sometimes. And I'm like, what does he say in response? And she's like, he doesn't say anything. He's just like, okay. And I'm like, and what do you do? She's like, I get it all out, but once it's out and I'm over it. And I'm like, wow, because anybody else, you just go back and forth, but like, this is my person. I can safely and freely say whatever I need to say, and they will respond as needed. But like he said, a lot of times you just have to get it out. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that. It's like, how do you create that within a dynamic? I feel like it's important.
You have to be willing to let go.
Mm.
You have to be willing to put your guard down. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to give these two nuggets. Sometimes he will ask a question, which lets me know it could be me.
Mm.
And it might not be happening the way I think. So, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's I'm just gonna listen, but then sometimes he might be listening, thinking, "It's you," or "You're reading too much into it. It's not all of that." And he will say something, and then I'll have to take a step back, like, okay. And then, two, ladies, be careful, because what I've also experienced is not only do you become your feminine self, it's a lot of times I'll let it all go because I know he will take it, or he will carry it, or he will pick up my slack.
Mm.
I'm that
That's a different level of
I'm
trust, though.
that comfortable, I'm that safe, and I'm that secure in knowing that he'll do it.
Mm. That's deep.
It is. And with that comes you, like I said, you having to be willing to let your guard down. When you love the way I love him, and I'm even gonna say the way we love, it can be scary. But you have to it's scary, but if you let go and you all in, there's nothing like it. And if you've listened to our podcast, and you may have heard me say this before, I don't think I will ever find anybody who's going to love me the way he has.
Mm.
I don't think, I don't. I don't. I don't think, I don't.
That's deep.
To to answer your question, for me, it's one of those things where I never thought about it or recognized it because I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if I was in like a different type of relationship and tried it, I'd be like, yeah, this is off. This don't feel right. But because I'm in it and it's going it's organic, I don't notice that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, it was a good question, to be honest, because I never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because not to say it, I can't tell you that I never experienced it because I'm in it now. So it's like, yeah, I don't. I guess, yeah, sure.
Because you're doing what you're
Because
supposed to do. Like you're playing your
yeah,
role.
it's natural. So it's like I never even noticed it.
And with that, I'm gonna say it's not unicorns, rainbows, and glitter every day. There are times when I know I get on his nerves. There are times when he get on my nerves. This relationship is not perfect. We are not perfect, but you can't tell me we ain't perfect for each other.
This big difference.
You can't. And I'm gonna tell you how deep that even goes. For
Came to the mic.
right, but this is just me being real. You know what I'm saying? My husband is an atheist, and I am not. And I'm gonna catch slack for this, but I just have to take it. You still can't tell me that God didn't make him for me. And that's a guy he don't believe in. And we talking about if you believe in God in the Christian sense, a God who is a vengeful God for those who don't believe in him. You still can't tell me he was not made for me. And that's just
what did you say about that?
Yeah, it's one of those for anybody who's in it, I've been in it. When you get in it, you will know.
Yeah.
When you get in it, you will know.
Oh, that's deep.
And then and when you've been in it, and I'll just speak for myself, you will never accept anything less.
I'm gonna tell you something else. Is how you just said that's deep. You're not gonna say that when it happens.
Yeah, you will.
I don't think because you're gonna be so into it. You're gonna your mind and heart is gonna be so fluttered. You won't really recognize it until say like you have like a big disagreement or you spend some time apart, and then you're like, yeah, that's my person. Because even though I don't like them right now, I'm in love with them. That I need to be in
their space.
In their space. That type.
And then no matter what's going on, when you get in that space, nothing else matters.
But you know what? You're probably right. Just because of how women feel.
No. Listen to what you're saying. That's not deep.
It is deep. No, I'm saying how she said that's deep, but she's saying that's deep as a single person. We not saying, "Ooh, baby, that was deep. You killed it. You got it." No, we not saying that.
Right. We just expressing what it is and what it feels
and
like.
I'm saying she's not going to say, "Ooh, baby, yeah, that was deep. What you just said, felt that through my soul." She's not. She's gonna be like, "Damn, okay."
I might though. You might.
You might. But if you in that flow, that's deep's not gonna come up. That's not what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, "Baby, I love shit out of you."
But you know what? Something just came to my mind as I'm listening to you, and I'm like repeating what Fee was saying about the feeling and stuff. And this may sound so crazy, right? Because that was deep. Because you don't always hear people compliment their partner like that, uplift and speak about one another like you two do, whether it's on your platform or someone else's, right? And again, and you guys going to catch this. Y'all can be sitting here telling me all of this and this stuff not be true at the same time, which I know that's not, that ain't the case with y'all. On the flip side, listening to that, me saying that's deep, it is also scary.
It is.
It's scary.
And I'm in it and it's scary.
Yeah, because you like, I know how women think because I'm a woman. I know how us women feel. And I'm a person that I love truly hard. Like when I love, I love hard, from friends to intimate partners, whatever. So to be that in love and in feeling with a person, it can be scary because it's like I'm giving you all of this and it's out of my control, right? Because I still hold to like you can't help who you love.
Mm.
And it's like I'm giving all this and I don't need you to take it for granted, you know? I don't need you to like do like cheat or do anything else that's going to make me not want to feel this way because it feels too good, almost too good to be true that I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
do I think that women want what y'all got, like what you have and what y'all have? I think, but I think also at the same time, listening, it's like, damn, that's too deep that it can be scary at the same time, you know? So it's like, how do you get past that scary point? Or do you always be in it?
It's, you know how some things are worth it? Think about
Yeah.
the things that are worth it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the journey you're embarking on. Scary, right?
Oh yeah.
But exciting. You
Yes.
wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather be scared in it than who wants to be out of that?
Yeah.
Who wants to know?
You remember that was it Mario? You should let me love you.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the beginning, because I love so hard, she didn't know how to take that. It's like, have you never been loved? Like you never really been loved before.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting out of this. You never really been loved before. And she would it was pushback, Shakita.
Mm-hmm.
Like why don't you just let me love you?
He says that, but we talk about all the time too our randomness
Mm-hmm.
and our corniness
Yeah.
and our eccentricities.
Mm-hmm.
But it
He
makes
does,
y'all stronger though.
he does some weird stuff too.
Yeah. I'm weird.
I think everybody has that in them.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I'm weird. Yeah.
But on the same token, those things that he does in the way that he loves me, it also just lets you know how much someone loves you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for those things. It's funny because last week I was out with a group of friends. We had got together after school and we were talking, and it's the venting session, and some of them were complaining or whatever. And then it's always a thing. Well, Porter don't ever have nothing to say, and I was like, you know what? And I said, I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody, honestly, because I know people like this. Everybody is not genuinely happy for you,
Mm.
even when they say they are. And so sometimes, and maybe a lot of times, I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But and I told them, I was like, but my husband is fucking awesome.
Can we cuss on her?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got in the moment.
You're fine.
I mean, I just say that to say, and then I get excited to have an outlet like this where I can really talk about it, and you ask the questions and we can get into it.
Yeah.
Everybody's not always happy for you, for real.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a mark against them. Some people aren't in that space right now. And some
And,
people, depending on what they're dealing with, can't be in that space right now.
and honestly, what works for us may not work for you.
Mm-mm.
Because of who we are, our
Yeah.
personalities. But we have a way. Our foundation is totally different than what you would outside of other couples.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you can't base our happiness on what you looking for because that
Mm-hmm.
might not be it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why people have to be careful. about these social media relationships because it looked like it you see how clear the clarity of this picture. It may look good, but we may get to arguing about what we're gonna eat for dinner tonight. It may be a 30-minute argument.
It's coming.
No, it's not an argument if you know what you want to eat. See how easy it is. It's not an argument if you know what you want to eat. What we gonna eat tonight?
Sometimes you just don't know though. So
She
in
never knows. She never knows.
Lies.
That's
Shakita,
okay.
she never knows.
Not the microphone.
The lie.
Don't do us like this. Okay. She never knows.
He always puts it on me instead of,
No.
babe.
This is what she does. Hey babe, I'm sure it's hungry. Yeah, me too. What you want to eat? I don't know. Pick something up. Oh, so you don't want nothing? Yeah, I want something. You just ask me if I'm hungry. Yeah, get some meat. Yeah, but what you want? I don't know. Whatever you get. So you don't know what you want to eat.
And you know what that and I'm gonna tell and if I give you honestly what that is, I want to get something that's gonna make him happy. I want to get something that he's going to enjoy. That's exactly what it is. That's why we have a lot of our.
It's not your indecisiveness. It's not that. It's not you being indecisive at all.
Listen, I would rather argue or whatever about what we're going to eat, opposed to why you coming home late. Let me see your phone.
Biggest argument.
Yeah, I would take that any day over.
That's our biggest argument.
Anything else.
Yeah, it's our weekly. It's part of our weekly.
Daily. It's a daily. I even on the way home today, I was like, I don't know what we're gonna eat tonight. We haven't been to the store. And I know if I ask him, he's going, what you want? I don't know what I want. Yeah.
She just said it, didn't she?
I would rather argue about that than all of the other stuff that may potentially cause more damage to the relationship than what we're going to eat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, you don't know. Well, you just eat a bowl of cereal, go to bed.
and we do that.
Yeah.
It may be a peanut butter sandwich in a glass of water.
I love it. I love it either way. So my last question, I'm curious to know, just because this is something else that like I had to kind of realize when I got out of my last relationship, was when I went through my breakup, I realized I didn't know who I was anymore. Like I lost myself completely in my last relationship. And I don't know if you guys know, I know I haven't talked about it much on my show, but I was literally almost married. I was engaged when my breakup happened. And I lost myself in my relationship, didn't realize it until after, because I didn't know what Shakita liked, who Shakita wanted to be, the things and places that I thought that were entertaining to me. I didn't like them anymore. Foods, like everything changed. And I realized that all the stuff that I did prior to my relationship, I had no interest doing now that I'm back to being single. And me and my friends will talk about how when you're in relationships and marriages, you need to also have that outside outlet, whether it's going out with your friends, taking vacations with your friends, your family doing things. And then on the flip side of that, some couples are like, no, I need you to do every single thing with me. They don't want you to have friends. Like, what are you guys' thoughts about having like a social life outside of, each other?
We love it.
I encourage it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a must. No, baby, I'm saying it's a must. Like people should do that.
So should I get up and go now?
Do you want to go now?
See what I'm talking about? He's just trying to get me out the house. Ready for me to leave?
No. You got to. No, for real. Yeah, you should. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should stop being who you are once you get married, because that's a part of who they fell in love with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, of course, you may. We're not talking about the friends who are bad influence. We're just talking about you keeping your identity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hanging out with your friends as part of you keeping your identity, then do that. But I tell people all the time, we we are one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get married, you're one. They say that you're one. You move, you operate as one. But at the same time, we're still individuals. So yes, you still have to do that.
And if you, ladies, if you have, and ladies and gentlemen, if you have a spouse who is secure in who they are and in themselves, they're not trying to keep you at home under them all the time. One of the things that he said was, he can't make you happy and you can't make me happy. We are not responsible for each other's happiness.
Mm-hmm.
He wants me to keep being who I am, go with your friends, do what you want, do that. And it's never a problem. I always ask him out of respect, hey babe, do you mind if this, or do you care if I do this? Or me and the girls was thinking about doing this or going here. I don't care. But out of respect, I'm always gonna ask.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I don't
I
have
like
any.
you need to go hang out with your
I
friends.
don't have any friends.
He needs to go
So
hang out with his friends.
I don't. I don't.
Go hang out with your friends.
I have a dog.
Take the dog for
Well, no, because to me, representation of what both of you just said is you guys have a platform together, right? And then Willie has created another platform with another group of friends, and then Fee, you're always out somewhere. I feel like going to different shows, and every time we chat or I just hear, how are you doing? You did all these things. So you guys have your outlets. Like it does not seem like you have lost your true identity. And there may be some new parts of you that were established while you have been married. And it seems like, for the most part, y'all support each other in those new endeavors and different things, which is good because I've heard you talk about him and how he has changed in great ways by establishing a new podcast and like him being like happy and stuff with that. And then
But
on the
he can
flip
also
side,
be happy outside with his friends.
he said he don't have no friends. He just have a dog. But no, like a lot of people lack that. I really thought at one point, like, oh, we have to be laid up under each other. And now that I have been on this single journey, I'm like, first of all, my peace is everything. But being in a dating world and wanting to be in a relationship and then potentially getting married again, like I know now the importance of continuing to have my outlets and like my friends and like do all of those different appropriate healthy social things. And then they also can continue to create a solid foundation in your relationship. But I don't think a lot of people see it, especially this young generation child. They don't see it as that, and that's the unfortunate side piece.
I think this is also another one of those things where it just depends on the couple
Mm-hmm.
because some couples thrive when they have that break from each other. Because you have a chance to miss them.
Mm-hmm.
You have a chance to reflect on why you love them. But if you under each other, you don't. I can't miss you. You just went to the restroom. There's nothing to miss. Yeah. I love you. Yeah, but you gone for a 12, 14 hour day. Damn, I love her. You know what I mean? So, but some couples thrive being together
Mm-hmm.
48 hours a day. They fine.
There are some couples that do everything
Yeah,
together, and that's just how that's their dynamic. That's
yeah.
how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just depends. So that's just another one of those situations where it just depends on the couple. But you don't know that until, well, the individual in them do know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I have some new outlook now on a lot of different things. I'm gonna work on my fear part though, Fee. I'm gonna work on it though.
And I'm gonna tell you, get ready for this craziness. So We could be in the house, chilling. We might not even be in the same room. I'm in the bedroom watching TV. He's in the room watching TV. I get mad when he gets ready to go to bed.
Mhm.
Because now what? So what I'm supposed to do? Mind you, we ain't even been in the same room.
Take the dog for a walk. I don't know.
We going to bed. And I was like, well, this is boring.
Mhm.
I'm going to stay up and do. Like I can't keep doing what I was doing when he was in the other room.
You know how I knew he was madly in love with me?
I ain't mad in love with you. Why?
I'm not talking about the witness exhale hug that you gave me. It's when she said,
You better not say what I think you're going to say. But say it.
when she said, I hope I die before you do. Because there's no way I'll be able to go on if you go before I do. What am I supposed to do with that, Shakita? I can't. So now I can't die. So now I gotta live forever.
Hey, nope. But we're going to have to blur that out because you will not. I will not be accomplice to anything.
But yeah, but
No, that hit different. That
yeah.
hit
So
different.
she said, I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, okay, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Like, how do you process that type of love, Shakita? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hit different. That hit
So
different.
I got a question for you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you ready for
For
this
marriage,
type of commitment? Mhm.
I feel like I feel like I'm ready for commitment,
Okay.
and I don't want to put like all those different labels on it, right? I just
Mhm.
want to be in a committed something with my person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And everything else I hope will fall in place.
Mhm.
I feel like, and I say that, I know that's probably like really cut and dry. I say that now because back in the day, I said the same thing, but I needed this. Like it was that huge checklist, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it was a huge checklist with a person that should have been only a potential and left them where they were. And I'm trying to create this imagery in my head into the physical form, and it just caused a lot of damage. So now I'm just like, okay, I know what I want, and I feel like when the time is right, that person will appear without me having to sacrifice my mind, my body, my spirit, anything in my sanity. It would just happen when it happened. You know.
That person is gonna let you know without saying anything. That person is gonna let you know
Mhm.
without saying anything.
We'll
and it's
see.
because no, they will because
Hmm.
they're not going to promise you this. They're not going to tell. They're not going to. They're just going to do
Mhm.
Actions is gonna
what.
be it's gonna be based off their actions. That's why I said they're not gonna say anything,
Mhm.
but based off their actions, you're gonna be like, it's him. It's him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're gonna have those weird butterflies. You're gonna be this thinking about the dumbest things y'all can do together that
Mhm.
you normally wouldn't even do with somebody.
You'll sit back
Mhm.
and you'll remember the very first time they ever touched you, and you get those butterflies. And it doesn't have to be a sexual touch.
Hmm. Well, we shall see what happens. I will keep you guys posted. Posted on that because that's the kind of things I think a lot of people, single people, maybe like yearn for. Like you want someone to be that, but then it's like I want it, and sometimes you have to take a step back from forcing it, right? Because I've had many instances where I tried to force things, and force people to like me the way that I like them, or force people to love me how I love them. Again, because I love hard without, and this is the part of me where I wasn't even fully aware of myself, you know? I had to take a huge step back. So now I'm in this space of just being, and I've been in that space for months and just allowing things to just flow into the physical state. And as we know, things are flowing faster than what I would like could have imagined. So everything that y'all just said, you hear that? It need to pick up. It need to pick up. So we shall see. Like I'm all here for it, and I think that would be a huge test for me with all the healing and all the work that I've done. It will really be put in place. Like, okay, let's see how healed you really are. Let's see how if you really released all the petty, but I have not. Like, let's really see if you're ready to woman up and step to the plate and be the woman that you say you can be now. Not that you wasn't that person before, you just maybe not wasn't ready. But let's see if you really can put all that stuff in motion.
But imagine how it's going to be when you are ready versus you doing it while you trying to do it in that process.
Right.
Because I mean, I didn't get on my emotional intelligence until year 7, year 5 into the marriage. So
Mm-hmm.
and that was a journey in itself. And also, I was gonna say I wasn't looking to get married
Mm.
at all.
We had never even talked about marriage.
Never even talked about it. I wouldn't. No, I'm not getting married. No, you're not gonna filing taxes together. No, this is my money. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
No, we ain't split nothing. Ain't no joint account. No, you just you slide by. I come over, whatever. We go Red Lobster, get some biscuits or
Not
something.
Red Lobster.
You know what I'm saying? Nah,
But I
and
feel
her.
like that. I feel like when you really find your person, sometimes those things change. You know, like I know people that say they would never have been married, and then they're like, you know what? I feel like if I find my person, like I will be married. My mom said before she wouldn't be married again, and now she's like, I think I will, and she's been married twice already.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You not gonna. They're not gonna say anything. It's gonna just be. It's gonna happen. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of these marriages when they I need to be married by this date, by this age. I need to have this many kids by this age. I need to have this. I need to do that. That's fine. You're a great organizer, and that's great. But dates don't fall like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes things just have to be organic, and it's just gonna happen.
And 90% of the time, people prepare for the wedding and they don't prepare for the marriage. And that's
Ooh.
problem number one. People will plan and prepare for a marriage and not even think a wedding, not even thinking about the actual marriage.
Mm.
That's when the real work kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
The wedding is just a show, simply a show.
Man.
That's your
Okay.
clip. That's your clip.
I got you. You see, I be quiet on certain parts. I got you. But I truly appreciate this conversation. I know it was a little long, but I do appreciate all of you guys' energy and just for being so transparent and vulnerable and just answering these questions. Honestly, um, before we get out of here, even though we discussed a lot of beneficial things and you both dropped some lovely gems, hope y'all was out there listening. Can you provide one more piece of advice to someone? Now, you asked me how I felt, right? Provide one more piece of like advice for someone listening that is embarking on their dating journey, or maybe it's like they're in their honeymoon phase of their marriage. You pick some type of advice for someone that's navigating either one of them dynamics right now.
Hmm.
Uh, that's the one. That's the question you should have gave me ahead of time.
You know what? I'll go. So you give me time. I'm gonna go with the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
The honeymoon phase is not meant to last forever. And I'm gonna tell you from experience, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Mm.
If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you keep your house in order, you good. That's what I got.
Drops mic.
It's so many. I don't know. It's so many little things I feel like I could say.
It doesn't matter which way the toilet paper is going to roll down.
I never thought that it really matters until people start making a big deal out of it. But
And all it is going from the way you do things you don't even think about, and the way someone else does things that they don't even think about. And then when y'all get together and y'all realize those things are different, and it's like, oh, that's not right.
I was just trying to buy some time for you.
I know. But the honeymoon phase is just that, a phase for people who are honeymooning. Pick, and I don't know, it may sound cliche, but pick and choose your battles. Is it in the grand scheme of things, is this even important?
mm-hmm.
Is it even worth a conversation? And he was joking when he said the toilet paper thing. His is under, mine's is over. If he puts it on there under, it's under. If it bothers me, all I do is switch the roll around.
Mm.
It's not even a conversation. Like, if he leaves the toilet seat up, I put it down. It's not worth it.
I'm more concerned about the quality of the toilet paper than I am which way it's going, to be honest.
But it's a commitment. It's something you have to be willing to work through it all. You know what? This is what it is. Be mindful how y'all talk to each other, even when you're mad.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Be mindful how y'all talk to each other, even when you're mad. We have had plenty of disagreements. We don't yell at each other. We don't cuss at each other. We don't call each other names. It's always respect your partner, even when y'all disagree. Don't say things that you have to come back and apologize for. You can apologize and they can accept your apology. Those things will never be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful how y'all talk to each other, especially when y'all disagree.
Period.
Yeah, period.
That's good. Thank you y'all both for that. So I hope y'all was out there listening, because especially the talking to your partner, because like you said, people will argue and it's like, I need to hurt your feelings because you hurt mine, and I'm gonna say the worst of the worst. And then once it's all said and done, what you said to me is still reminiscent in the back of my brain, and you can't take that back. Can't take it back. So thank you both for that. And of course, can you please tell everyone where they can find your amazing podcast and all of your social media handles?
What do you want me to do?
Nope. Start it off like we start our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
When we hit record, you say,
What?
I don't know what that was.
What?
When we do our podcast and we hit record, what do you say when the music goes off?
Hey, kings and queens.
Mm-hmm.
You want me?
And then what do you say?
You want me to do the whole thing? Hey, kings and queens. Welcome back to the Thing About Us podcast. I am Willie.
And I am Fionna. And that's what we are. Don't do it. Don't look at me crazy.
No, I got you.
We are the Thing About Us podcast.
Yeah.
Tell them where they can find us, baby.
I had to go through all that.
Yes, you do.
Instagram, the thing underscore about us. Uh, X, the thing about us podcast. Twitter, not Twitter, TikTok, the thing about us podcast. Facebook, the thing about us podcast, and we are on all streaming platforms. And
Yes.
then we're also have another show that I do called the League of Kings podcast, which are I co-host with three other guys, Resident Big Brother, Bo Talk About Joe, J Dot from what is TWS. Those shows come out on Wednesdays. You can also find us same thing on TikTok, the League of Kings podcast, Twitter, the League of Kings podcast, Instagram,
Everywhere.
the
The
League of
League of
Kings
Kings
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yes.
And don't worry, I'll do the hard part for you. I will have all of those show links in the description box so you guys can go subscribe to both of their shows. Well, both shows, all of their social medias, and check out all of their amazing content and everything that they are putting out or have put out. If you've been listening up to this point, you've heard me shout out the League of Kings because I used a specific episode not too long ago, me and Jess, to reference something during our conversation. So shout out to y'all for continuing to pour out those different conversations that we need to hear as a society. And thank you both again for putting your relationship not only on the forefront on my platform, but on your platform and talking about the indifferences and how you both are able to bring things together, because that transparent view, we need more of that, in the world, but no one can do it like you. So I appreciate both of you guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks for having us.
Yes, no problem.